Daddy was the Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, Marty Robbins. Those were the main ones for him. I know it's probably when I got my... Remember that the Tractors group? He liked that group. Check up the guy. Look up that group. The guy that did the main singing in it. He's got an interesting story. I've read about him. I told you I used to be... This was my life. This was where I wanted to be. I would have been in my element. I would have never worked a day in my life. I don't give a care if I didn't do nothing, push the freaking down broom in a daggone recording studio. I'd have been in my element. If I had been in music, I don't care what part of the equation puzzle, I would have never worked a day in my life. But I don't know who he liked after that. I remember he liked Lynn Anderson because he liked that song Rose Garden, and my mama didn't like it. That song. Mama was Red Lynn and Conway. Those were her two main staples. Red Lynn, Conway. Remember Billy Crash Craddock come from Charlotte area, North Carolina, Rub It In? Okay, I saw him open for Red Lynn and Conway Twitty when I was little. Kenny Starr, that did Blind Man in the Bleachers. I think that was like his biggest hit. I remember him opening up for Conway and Loretta in the 70s. Remember they had that song, As Soon As I Hang Up the Phone? And she'd be somewhere, I don't know if it was backstage. Somehow you could see her. They were on the stage together, and the phone would ring, and she'd go, darling. Remember? I remember we went to see her one time. She came to the edge of the stage after the show. She had taken her shoes off. I think I've talked about this on one of these videos when I first started the channel. She's sitting in a chair. There wasn't nobody there with her, I don't think. You know, while she was doing stuff. What was that guy that... Was he related to her? His last name was Webb, I think. J. Webb? Something or another. If I see his picture, I can tell you if that's him or not. But anyway, I remember him being around her at that time. I remember her son being there on some of the shows. We saw a lot of Red Lynn and Conway. I'd say at least anywhere between 7 and 10 shows in my life. Even as they got older and got back together. And we lucked up with able to get in like first and second row seats. How we did that? That was on me. Because I would go and for hours sit at the door waiting for it to open. But this is way before Ticketmaster. Way before. You had to get up there and they'd have a diagram and this is what we got available. And if you only get one seat, you didn't always get maybe the end. But I remember her sitting on the edge of that stage. She had taken her shoes off. And she signed that book that Mama's got of hers 3 different times. But somebody went up under there and tickled the bottom of her feet. And in her accent, and she was like, oh Lord, don't be tickling the bottom of my feet. It was something to that effect. I was little. I was in amazement of just, and didn't realize of the greatness. She's a human being just like the rest of us. But she had, there's human beings in this world got a little bit of extra. There's some walk around with some extra and nobody's even paid attention to it. But she had that extra in her. Y'all know what I mean. And she I mean, I'm sitting here looking at her. Remember them old little metal binoculars that you could get at them shows? And it looked like a case, and it would pop up like this. You'd be sitting there looking like you got a daggone cell phone, almost like a cell phone sideways now. I'm like, where's my cell? I'm looking at my cell phone. And I tell y'all that. But you'd pop that thing up and it'd be like two little owl eyes up there and you'd be looking all in that junk. Trying to see. Mom got tickets, that's where we ended up. But when I got tickets, baby, honey, we gonna be down there. We gonna be so close, we gonna know what they had for lunch. But Randy Travis and John Snyder opened up for Conway one time. Loretta went with him. And let me tell you something. Conway come out and he do that Hello Darling. I look wide in his shirt. And them women with them little blue tints of hair would lose their ever-loving mind. They beat down a teenager to get to Conway. And after the show, Velcro hadn't even been invented. They'd get up and the dad blame chair be stuck to the tail. No, not really. I'm just joking on that one. See, I told you I ain't G-rated, but it leaves a lot to the imagination. Hey, at least I had 2 people to say that my channel was wholesome. I got some people that know me in other ways, and they said, Lord, what you say? What's that, Brenda Gant? Cooks in Alabama? I love an Alabama accent. Lord, I love an Alabama. I don't know why, but I just love an Alabama accent. I have a southern accent with a little bit of seasoned Lumbee Indian. Because of where I work, I'm around them, and I pick it up, and then I get lazy talking it. But I can talk without having that accent. I just got to be away from them for a while. My daddy noticed that when he come back, and then one time I was on the phone talking to him, and he was living there, and he said, Lord, how mercy, you sound like an Indian talking. But the Lumbee Indians there's Lumbee, and there's another name called Tuscarora. I'm white. But if I go to the tanning bed, let me tell you something. There's a lotion, I don't think they make that one anymore. But in 5 trips, I'm dark. I am dark. I want to show y'all something since I brought up tanning. This is probably going to be a really long video. I have a new subscriber on here this past week. And I apologize for not remembering your channel name. But we've talked about Shelby Lynn because of the song I did the other day of hers when she first started out. And I told her that I met Shelby in all places in Shelby, North Carolina. I had to drive across the damn state to get there. But it was worth it. I'd do it again too. She autographed all the CDs that I had of hers. And while she's signing, she's listening to me run my mile tour. And she said, don't give up. I know she ain't gonna remember the day, she ain't gonna remember me. But she said, don't give up. But I sure remember her, and I remember what she said. If you haven't listened to her gospel album, Salvation, I think it's called, check it out. To me, when I first heard it, it made me think of Sun Records, of the sound that was coming out of it back in the 50s. When it had the $1 Million Quartet or whatever. When you're talking about Cash, Elvis, and Jerry Lee and all of them. A guy, after she did all that, I said, can I get a picture with you? She said, yes. I think I handed somebody my camera. And they took the picture. I didn't know or realize that she was laying back on me until she lifted up. She's a little gal. So when I made my office, my wall was bare back there because that's where I was going to do the videos. And then I realized the sound wasn't good back there. So I said, what am I going to put back here? Because it don't look good. It's bare. And I could have taken a picture and moved it over there from some other place, but I got my pictures where I want them. So I had a canvas photo made. I got it for a good price. It was like $20. 25 maybe at the most. Of the photo taken of me and Shelby together. And when I say I had a tan, you'll see I had a tan. But this is it. Is the glare on it or something? Shelby white. And lives in California, honey. Only. You see how dark my cheeks are? You see the difference between her and I? She had boots on. I think I had boots on, but they had a low heel on them, the Justin's walking boots. Kind of like what George Strait and Garth Brooks wear. But that was the picture that we took in Shelby, North Carolina. And that was before I was using hair color. Look, before hair, you can see a little bit of gray up in here. And that was before I started coloring my hair. Where am I going to put this? I don't want it to get messed up. Well, I put that on that back wall, and it don't never get seen because I don't do the videos there. Hold up, got you something else. Y'all gonna say, Lord, honey, put my glasses on. Okay. Remember talk about Tanya Tucker? Some of the tickets in here have slid. Then I got my cards. This is when I went to see Hank Jr. and Tanya Tucker was opening for it. And after she did her show and he come out, we didn't have the best seats there. We did a lot of standing up because everybody was standing in front of us. But she came back out on the stage, stood to the side of the stage and danced her heart out. There you go. That photo, I did not take it. A guy, I went to another show, and I was there. I was going to get tickets for that show. And a gentleman was there that had been to this concert. And we were talking about all the singers we'd sing. And I said, yeah, I saw Tanya Tucker. I took her some roses and gave them to her on stage. He said, I got pictures of that. Not of me, but the roses had been put up there and her getting them. He sent me copies of these pictures because I had to be there to know that I did it. And, you know, that it happened. Well, this bottom photo, this is me and her in Nashville. And there's a top photo from that other concert I just showed you. Woo! I got tickets falling. Wait a minute, there, wrong side. I ain't taking all this stuff out. But see her? That's me. I was like 18, 19 years old. Somewhere around there. I had to be older than 18. And her sister, LaCosta, was there that day, and her brother was there that day. But, Lord, these cards are going to fall. This thing is old. and it's losing the stickiness to it. All right. These are the roses that she's getting. That's how he knew I knew it. He didn't even tell me about it. And I said, yeah, I'm the one that did that. Okay. Me and the Judds. This is when Have Mercy had come out. That's me in the middle right there. And that was him coming off the bus, and I was standing out there. There, it's got that glare on it. I don't have the overhead light on. But that's when my cards are falling out. That's Tanya's card. I got a picture of them, and they both autographed it. And then I said, can I get a picture? She said, yeah. Well, I did. So I went around the table. That jacket I had on was a rodeo finals jacket that he used to do in Oklahoma. It was the last year they did it there. Now I think they do it in Vegas. So I squatted down to get him. And Naomi was to my right, and she was talking to somebody, just, and while I went, Mom went, and you saw the picture. That pictures you see, Ashley, I believe, was in college. She still had braces on. I stood at the buses talking to her. There's them just sitting there talking, me out there at the bus. David Ball. I met him in Nashville. My mama took the picture. She couldn't have my face off. David and Clint Black got signed to RCA, I believe, right there at the same time. And from what I've read from David's interview, Clint got the money put behind him. That's why he got a little more famous. Or I don't know. Right. Anyway, I met him in Nashville. I had a Mayberry's t-shirt on, the Barney and them, and he liked it. So that's Mama cut half her face off. Well, didn't know that a couple years right after that, I entered in an amateur songwriting contest, came in the top 10. I didn't even know I'd come in the top 10. They put it in the paper. And I went somewhere and somebody said, hey, I saw your name in the paper. Da-da-da-da. I said, yeah, I did that, but they ain't told me anything. Well, you're in there. You came top 10. So I had to go to the library to get a flip for old newspapers. I got it, and I did. I came in at 10. And then they called, because David Ball was coming to the area to do a show. And then they called the people in the top 10 and asked them, did they want to perform their songs before David went on stage. I did it, and the two guys that came in first place, they did theirs. Everybody else didn't show up. So I got to meet David again that night. Let's see here. Here's some Loretta stuff and some of the Judds. A Christmas card from Judds stuff. There's the Christmas card. There's Loretta. This is when they had probably their final tour, her and Conway. I'm losing tickets. What's this? This is Jody Messina. First time I ever met her at Campbell University. She shocked me the first time I met her, because her makeup was so heavy being on stage. I didn't expect, I'd never seen a female artist wear makeup that thick on their face. Here's some more Christmas card from Loretta and stuff. I know y'all ain't gonna be able to see this glare. What's the other one? That's Loretta. I think Her son's her son's right there. Her granddaughter that's singing now with Conway's grandson? Her daddy's right there. Oh man, I was in Nashville here. Jeannie Pruitt. Satin sheets to lie on, satin pillow crying. Here. She was eating her salad, just starting to, and I walked in the room where she was at.